Coming up next on Small Town Big Deal, our first stop is the beautifully quaint town of Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I think it's safe to say that no one does Christmas quite like Portsmouth. Ho, ho, ho!
And then we're in Durango, Colorado.
Wow.
Home of the Polar Express.
And hang on.
It's time to get a little nutty.
I don't speak Vietnamese, but something has gone awry.
Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. We are in the beautiful, quaint, small town of Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
And I tell you, Jan, they celebrate Christmas here for 30 days. I mean, they know how to celebrate.
They do. If you come to Portsmouth and you don't find your own holiday spirit, you might just be a lost cause.
I think it's safe to say that no one does Christmas quite like Portsmouth. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, population 21,000, is about 110 miles north of Boston.
Their month-long celebration is called A Vintage Christmas. Think of it as Portsmouth's Christmas card to the world.
3, 2, 1. Portsmouth is a very vibrant, exciting town, and as you can see by the crowd, people just come out. They love the holiday season.
The local Strawberry Bank Museum brings Christmas past to life.
For around 40 years, they've been hosting the Candlelight Stroll.
Candlelight Stroll is 300 plus years of December in the same neighborhood. This is the whole range of people who lived in this neighborhood and what they did in December.
Visitors stroll from era to era by going door to door. Each home represents a different time in Portsmouth's history.
You'll find actors portraying the lives of actual past city residents.
Merry Christmas.
Like all the actors, Sarah Vidani has thoroughly researched her role.
My name is Catherine Shapley. I was born here in Portsmouth in 1757.
With her merchant husband away from home, Catherine is running the family shop and raising the children.
This was quite common for women of that era, but you might not know it.
Women tend to be underrepresented in history. They're not written about as often as men. Their records tend to get lost. It's really an honor to bring these women to life and make sure that they're not forgotten by history. You heard from your father.
Her home isn't decorated for the holidays because the idea of decorations didn't catch on until later.
And it really isn't until the late 1800s when you get to the Goodwin Mansion that it's high Victorian. They've just started to have Christmas trees.
Governor, how do you celebrate Christmas in 1870?
Relatively new tradition. We decorate, we have a Christmas tree. The children are excited about Santa.
Step into the Abbott home and you're transported to 1943.
I am home on leave from basic training.
At the kitchen table is Walter Holt, a World War II photographer.
A lot of people are asking, where I'm going to be stationed next or what my job is. So we get to explain about the real life people who lived in these houses.
Things are festive over at the Day House because it's 1955 and the war is over. America's optimism is reflected in this home.
What reaction do you see from people when they come into your 1950s kitchen?
Quite a reaction to that feeling of Christmas of their past.
I think that was our TV, actually.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
If the Candlelight Stroll fuels the town's Christmas soul,
then its holiday heartbeat is powered by the sweetest of treats.
Wow.
Look, the Grinch!
This annual gingerbread house contest is Portsmouth's sweet spot.
People have looked at Portsmouth itself. We have some of the historic houses. We have the iconic Darcy Blows sign. New Hampshire, things like the log cabin. I think just thinking about New Hampshire is special.
It's the sugar-coated version of Portsmouth's history.
I'm guessing everything has to be edible?
Everything has to be edible, absolutely.
Okay, that
is good.
The North Church is the most iconic building in town.
In the contest, it takes the cake.
First place, Judge's Choice Award.
But if confectionery creativity won't light up your Christmas spirit,
then head to Portsmouth's biggest party.
Welcome everybody to the City of Portsmouth Illuminated Holiday Parade.
Would you lay down in the street and let me jump over you?
No.
I think he answered very quickly on that.
more than 45 local organizations participate in the parade that doubles as a food drive.
All this small town spirit and creativity really impressed us.
And it's sure to impress the parade's guest of honor.
Okay, Jan, here he comes.
Oh, the man of the hour.
Hey.
Santa!
You're bound to find the Christmas spirit in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Because for a full month,
they really know how to celebrate Christmas.
That's right. Hit it, everybody! Merry Christmas!
After the break, we're in Durango, Colorado.
Wow.
Home of the Polar Express.
Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal.
This is our first welcome back in our pajamas.
And hopefully our last.
I don't know, it's mighty comfy, I can say that. We are in Durango, Colorado, approximately 3,241 miles from the North Pole.
And why is that significant?
Well, you're about to find out.
Trains have always played an important part in the life of Durango, Colorado. Population about 18,000.
For over 130 years, this former silver mining town has been home to one of the most spectacular rail lines in America, the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad.
But come Christmas time, there's a very different and magical train that pulls into Durango's historic station. The Polar Express.
Woo! Oh my gosh! I have chills! Wow.
Based on the 1985 book and the 2004 animated film which followed, The Polar Express tells the story of a young boy whose belief in Christmas is restored when he embarks on a magical train ride to the North Pole.
Who do you want to see first?
Santa.
Santa. Are we going to the North Pole tonight? Oh!
What do you think you're going to see?
Santa.
For someone who's never been on a Polar Express experience, how would you describe it?
An hour and 10 minutes of wonderful, magic fun.
Is there anyone else who would like to go to the North Pole this evening? All aboard the Polar Express!
Durango became one of the first cities in the country to offer a Polar Express rail event back in 2005.
Let's go. Come on.
I'm
we
coming.
can't be late.
I'm coming. I don't want to run over an elf.
Today, there are more than 50 cities throughout North America and the UK that take upwards of 1 million passengers a year on this unforgettable Yuletide journey.
We're going to the North Pole.
It's amazing how you get to the North Pole and back
So quickly.
It goes so fast. It's incredible.
Who's ready to go see Santa? I am.
Oh, and did I mention wearing pajamas is recommended? I even got Mr. Miller to put on a pair.
You look marvelous.
Well, I'm certainly comfy. I kind of feel like a kid again.
May I help you find your seats?
As everyone settles in and the train pulls out of the station, the story comes to life.
Hot chocolate, hot, hot. Oh, we got
From beginning to end, the chefs are the ones who serve the hot chocolate and cookies and make sure that every single passenger on the Polar Express has a good time.
Where does the bell end up?
In his pocket. We interact with every child, ask them what they want for Christmas, sing and dance to the songs. It's our job to make it as magical and believable as possible.
Every kid gets off of that train believing in Santa and the Christmas spirit in the Polar Express.
How would you express the Polar Express ride for someone who's never done it?
I would say hang on to your seats because you're going to get a ride. You're going to get an explosion of an experience that you probably haven't had since you were a child. And you probably go away saying, wow, there really is a Santa.
Now the distance from Durango to the North Pole is 3,241 miles, but we seem to get there in no time flat.
1, 2, 3. Hey, Santa!
As we roll by, Santa and the others brave the frigid Arctic temperatures to greet us.
But as we begin our trip back, we get a Christmas-sized surprise. Ho, ho, ho!
How do you describe that when you first enter the train?
It is unreal. They're like saucers with eyes on them. Everything is glued to you. It's just a smile from ear to ear.
I hear the bell! I hear the bell!
How important is it for the kids to believe in you?
You know, it's real important. When I go through and give them a bell, I tell them ring it and believe and always believe.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Ho, ho, ho! What'd you think about meeting Santa?
It's pretty awesome.
It was pretty cool.
I know.
And I love these outfits. These are fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't lose the magic.
We won't.
Okay,
We won't.
good.
Promise.
And as we pull back into the station, the real meaning behind the Polar Express story and its message of believing is not lost on either of us.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, Jen, that was awesome.
It was.
What'd you learn?
Oh, to remember to believe and to keep that feeling in your heart.
And to keep it all year long.
Merry Christmas!
Stay with us. It's time to get a little nutty.
I don't speak Vietnamese, but something has gone awry.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal. You know, Jim, there's one Christmas icon that kind of always gets a bad rap, and that's fruitcake.
Oh, that's for sure. But here, deep in the woods of southern Missouri, there is a faithful group of men helping keep this humble Christmas pastry pulling its weight all year long.
It is here, very deep in the wooded wilderness of the Missouri Ozarks, that one of the most well-known and exclusive fruitcakes in the world is lovingly created. And not just a few.
But more than 25,000 of them every year. So, who are these busy bakers?
They are the Trappist monks of Assumption Abbey.
Their balance of life is prayer, even rising at 3:30 in the morning to begin their prayers.
But they also participate in manual labor to support their monastery.
We figured we should support ourselves rather than live on charity.
This is 86-year-old Father Cyprian.
You seem to be extremely happy.
We're happy to have you here.
This abbey has been his home since 1965. It opened in 1950 after monks were gifted the land. Their 3,000-acre Ozark monastery is outside Ava, Missouri, a town of just under 3,000, some 50 miles southeast of Springfield.
But supporting themselves didn't start with baking. It began with farming.
But the weather and the rocky ground hindered agriculture, so they tried something new.
So in the end they said, well, let's just dredge the sand and gravel out of the creek and make concrete blocks. So for 25 years they made concrete blocks.
Wow.
Ultimately, they could not compete. So in 1987, their prayers were answered with fruitcake. And the jokes write themselves.
So were you glad when you started making fruitcakes instead of the blocks?
Yeah, they're easier to handle. We had to change the recipe a little bit.
Their exclusive recipe came from a French chef who had worked for the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Just don't ask Father Cyprian for it.
This is like, you know, you ask Coca-Cola what's their formula.
Yeah.
It's sort of a vow of silence.
Yeah. Does it smell good?
Oh, it does smell good.
After the batter is made, it's time to fill the pans. Just so.
Now I'm at 302.
Each filled pan should weigh 2.94 pounds. Rodney, that means 2.94 pounds.
So I should take out a little because it's a little heavy?
Yeah.
I wish I could take weight off me that easy. 294.
Yay!
The cakes go into a huge revolving oven to bake.
Yeah, that's good.
After they've cooled, it's time for the rum to be injected. That's 8 shots of rum.
Oh, too deep. It came out the bottom. I feel like a surgeon. I feel like a doctor.
I'm all about symmetry.
Yours is much more symmetrical.
Oh, keep working.
Give my hand a rest. If you're not sure, it's best to inject it double, then skip it altogether. How do you say good morning in Vietnamese?
The monks you see helping us here are from Vietnam.
My name is Matthew. I come from here a few months.
With fewer Americans seeking to become Trappist monks, the abbey might have closed. But the arrival of monks from Vietnam keeps its future bright.
You guys are really organized over there, like a well-oiled machine.
I think that's a contribution from our Vietnamese monks especially. They are very sharp in getting things done in the most efficient way and prompt way. The Americans were just a little more loose and it took a little longer time to get things done and all that.
Why does it sound like he's talking about us?
Jan, he did 4 while you're doing 2.
I know. I want that brush. Yeah, we are so slow, Rodney.
It takes time.
Yeah, I know. And of course, I want it to look really good, so I'm...
I know.
Well, they can speed up the camera when they...
That's right.
Not a bad idea, Father. Decorating the cakes would certainly go faster.
Is it good?
Those are good.
At this point, we would forgive the good father for thinking the 2 of us were nuttier than, well, you know. And speaking of nuts.
Oh no, what did I do wrong? I don't speak Vietnamese, but something has gone awry.
You'll see there's a head and a tail to the nut, and they all want to be the same.
The same side, the same direction.
Is that one in the wrong direction? I would create an international incident.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Assumption Abbey might not be the country's most productive bakery.
Come to my assistance.
But the Abbey's cakes come with something very special, a blessing of each one for the people who buy them.
The days are coming, says the Lord.
It was very touching when the monks blessed the cakes, really helping me feel more into the Christmas spirit.
These people like fruitcake.
If you want to try their cakes, they can be found on Amazon and on the Abbey's own website, TrappistMonks.com.
No, you're going to serve us?
Yes, I would be very honored to serve.
And though Jan and I can't remember the last time we ate fruitcake, we are more than ready to try this one.
How good is it, Jan?
It's heavenly.
Oh, marvelous.
Our thanks to the brothers and fathers of Assumption Abbey, especially Father Cyprian.
They opened their abbey for us, even parts where outsiders are not normally allowed. But they also opened their hearts. It is a time we will cherish and never forget.
So, Father, you're in pretty good health for 86.
Yeah, fortunately. It's a fruitcake.
Maybe it's the fruitcake, but we like to think it's more likely from the true spirit of Christmas that is always in his heart. Or messages like these. Pray that we have a good Christmas and that everyone is happy.
You know, Jan, I don't think I'm ever going to forget Father Cyprian and his lifelong commitment to servanthood and his witty sense of humor.
I mean, it was pretty wicked. I mean, a lot of people have compared fruitcake to cinder blocks. I just didn't think he would, but he did. Now, Polar Express. Do you still believe?
I do believe, and I have my pajamas still.
You kept them.
I did.
And your bell.
And my bell.
Good to know. All right, what about Portsmouth?
You know, 30 days of celebrating Christmas. I mean, they really know how to do it.
It's the only way to do it, right?
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Small Town Big Deal.
And we hope you'll go to our Facebook page, like us, and follow us for more Small Town Big Deal fun.
I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl.
Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America. So Santa, thanks for taking time with us, because I certainly don't want to take any time away from you getting my present ready. Jan's, if you run out of time, you can just put hers on hold till next year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Just say Merry Christmas, Rodney.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I thought you were going to say Merry Christmas, Rodney.
Merry Christmas, Rodney.
Wait, let me do that. Just say Merry Christmas, Rodney.
Merry Christmas, Rodney.